guys, it's TA Megan, and I thought since we're learning about sea life that we'd take a look at the Minnesota Sea Life Aquarium at the Mall of America book that my son has. Oh my goodness, we've learned about some of these animals on the front cover, haven't we? Remember this? Do you remember the sign for sea turtle? Put your hands together and you move your thumbs. Put your hands together and you move your thumbs. Just like sea turtle fins. All right. Now this is a really long book, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to show you the pictures, and then when we get to the part about crabs, remember we learned about lobsters, crabs, and shrimp today. And you guys liked crabs the most, so we're going to read about that. All right. Look it. I want you to use your eyes to look at the pictures. And this big word says sea life. There's a starfish and seahorse. There's a crab. Sea Life Minnesota represents the perfect family attraction because it combines education with fun and exciting experiences for all. So that's why they wanted to start Minnesota Sea Life, which is in the basement at the Mall of America. And here is a map of it. Oh my goodness, look how big it is. On this page, they're talking about seahorses. Here's some pictures of the seahorses. Look at all those different stages. Let's read just a little bit about it. All right. Here is a fun fact. Seahorses, strangely, the male or the boy seahorse carries the young and gives birth. You know, it's usually women who do that. And here's one other fact. The slowest fish in the whole world that we know of is the dwarf seahorse. Oh, they're so tiny that they have to use this magnifying glass to see them. All right. On this page, we're exploring a rocky seashore. It's always fascinating. The pools left behind by the tide are tiny reservoirs or puddles, rich in marine life of an astonishing variety. You never know what you'll find, but knowing what to look for makes it more exciting. So I'm going to go through what these animals are. Here, if you find a sea urchin, watch out for those sharp spines. These round, hard-bodied creatures are cousins of the starfish and have a perforated shell of skeletal plates that are fused together. They feed on seaweed and marine life that lives amongst it. So right here, you see, right there, that's the sea urchin. All right, now we're going to talk about in the deeper pools nearer to the low tide mark, you're almost sure to find little fish. The most common are blennies, slim and tapering with a long dorsal fin, and rock gobies, which are blotchy black and white with a pair of dorsal fins. They eat tiny crustaceans and worms. So this fish right here, you can find in a tide pool. All right, next we're going to talk about only the tougher creatures can survive the poor water quality and extreme temperatures of shallow pools near high tide mark. You could look for common shore crabs and limpets that can be found in these pools. So we talked about crabs today, didn't we? There he is. All right. In the wild, some shrimps are semi-transparent and not always easy to spot. As the illustration suggests, they are amongst the smallest of crustaceans. Look out for these little creatures such as harmless sea scorpions and sea slugs. There's so much to discover. So we talked about shrimp today too. Remember, we saw a video about mantis shrimp. And our last one is the starfish. They're usually found in deeper pools. These interesting creatures usually have 5 arms, although some species have more. Amazingly, if a starfish loses an arm, it can grow back. Starfish push their stomachs out through their mouths located under their body to digest their food. Ooh, they put their stomachs outside of their bodies. But they sure are pretty. There's 1, 2, 3. Oh, there we go. Crabs. It says, crabs, the crushing, cracking carnivores. The claws of a crab are immensely powerful. They are used for fighting and signaling, but mostly for cutting and crushing other marine creatures for food. They range from very microscopic zooplankton when they are babies to giant Japanese spider crabs at up to 13 feet across. Their shells are so tough that crabs usually grow by shedding or molting them at intervals. Amazingly, if they lose a leg, they can grow a new one, and most crabs walk sideways because some leg joints have limited movement. Oh my goodness, I gotta show you these crabs. We have a hermit crab, a shore crab, spider crab, and then that giant Japanese spider crab. Right here, do you see all those different types? Hermit. What is that? Shore crab, spider crab, and there's that big Japanese spider crab. They are immensely big. Oh, this is all about how they built it, blah, blah, blah. Stingrays. You can pet them there, and they look like they got a little face. But those are actually his nostrils. His eyes are on top, as you can see right there. There's his eyes. All right. They talk about the food chain. Oh, they talk about sharks. They talk about how they provide biological services and the day in the life of a marine biologist. Ooh, they talked about octopuses. They talk about pollution and how it harms ocean life, and we all need to stop littering. Even here, when we're not near the ocean, it still ends up there. And they talk about their conservation program, about helping these animals survive. And jellyfish. Oh, and sanctuaries that have mammals in them, such as seals, otters, penguins. All sorts of creatures live in our oceans. And speaking of, here's a map that shows some of the oceans and where the animals come from. That's the end of this free book that you could get for yourself at Minnesota Sea Life at the Mall of America. I hope you like looking at the pictures and learning just a little bit more about crabs. See you later.